Hello and welcome to the Salt Collector channel, where we collect buckets of salt from the tears of our enemies. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. I couldn't manage to squeeze any more games in, but as we're on the end of our Bolton journey, chapter 1, there are more chapters to come, I thought I would go through the cards that I thought were very good. And we're gonna just go through the cards that I through the Dusk Till Dawn set and see where they hit. Must have, above average, average, below par, and chaff. Is that how you spell chaff? Anyways, we'll go through the cards, and then of course, leave your comments. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or if you found better uses for some of them. I'm all ears. So, starting off with the Benefits of Courage and Gallantry. These are most definitely must-haves. When we speak about Bolton, before Dusk Till Dawn, it was a card disadvantage deck that was a sort of a meme deck that just couldn't compete because you're spending an extra card each turn to build up that soul. And yeah, the investment is you get a go again later on down the line, but it's not a guaranteed go again, meaning you might not be able to get the buff on your cards to give it go again, and so therefore more than half the time you're losing a card with no return on investment, ROI. And even the go again for a card is crap when you compare it to someone like Lexi with a bow that can just give you go again, or Briar that just playing a card or two cards gives you a go again token aura thing. So Bolton pre Dusk Till Dawn just wasn't very good. These cards changed that a little bit, so you guarantees a go again regardless, because the courage token buffs your next attack, while the quicken token gives it go again. Not to mention their yellows, block for 3, attack for 4. These are must-haves. If you're going to play Bolton, you're going to want 3 Benefits of Courage and 3 Benefits of Gallantries, for sure. Benefit of Protection, I put this in average. I think it might be good down the line if someone like Icelander becomes a top deck, as Icelander did just win the Battle Hardened against Alexi, which I thought was a tough matchup for Icelander, but watching the game, it was a little bit one-sided for the Icelander. So having this banner of protection, respecting the AB, the arcane damage, this might help. Having 3 of them in your sideboard is a large chunk of your sideboard, so I'm not entirely sure. Even maybe it's Rune Blades as well, it's going to help prevent damage. But then you're taking the passive route, and unless you're playing Hatchet Bolton, I don't think the passive route is correct. I would like to try and make it work. Bennett Resilience, this we'll get onto a little bit later once we talk about Soul Bond Resolve. Bastion of Unity, such a beautiful card, such a waste. They could have done so much more with this. So the first time you're blocking it, if you don't block it with another card, you block it with 1 and it blows up. If you block it with a card, you block it for 2. So you're blocking for 5, more or less, total. And then you block again for 1, plus a card, so 4. But the other hand is there for then a saber or a hatchet, and it's just crap. Like, it's gorgeous though, so maybe I'll put it here because of the way it looks, but I would just never play it. The only thing it's good for is trading, opening a Marvel cold foil and trading it. Marvel, I don't know if they do Marvel versions of that. But yeah, it was just a waste. Outside of certain cards, they've really failed Warrior with axes, now with a shield, and then Beaming Blade, I think, was also in this spot. When we're talking about Bolton and the resources that it requires, 2 more resources on top of a charged card, on top of paying for the attack, if it's a take flight or with Vanguard, Beaming Blade just doesn't work. Maybe if it was 1 resource, then it might be too good. But attacking with this after Luminous Ascension is played is just very unrealistic to attack with it more than once. And therefore I put it below par. Being Bravado, this is above average card. These are the type of cards that really help. I'm talking about like the staples, the meat and potato of the cards. That they're not super rare, they're not legendaries, but they just help fill the deck. And once you get these ones being pretty good, if you have a deck full of above average commons and rares, then you start to get a good hero. And this one is in that category. I think most Bolton decks will play around 25 to 30 yellow cards. 30 might be on the high end. So the chance of being able to hit yellow, and the yellows are pretty damn good though. So if you think about the yellows, you're playing via the Vanguard, you don't want to charge it. You're playing Luminous Ascension, you don't want to charge it. You're playing Beacon of Victory. So 9 cards out of this 25 you don't want to charge. But the Bannerets, you do. Bolting Blade, Celestial Cataclysm, you do. Yeah, Luminal Lance if you're playing it also. Still, it's a good card. It helps when you're playing Raiden to automatically get the go again with the buff and then hit for 7. So you have 2 cards hitting for 7, so that's the E-Strike levels of good. Obviously there's a bit more work involved, but that's also highlights why Beaming Blade is just not that good. It needs to have a deck built around it. Beckoning Light. I'm going to put this, I had it at average before, but now I'm going to put it at above average, mainly because of the interaction with Helm of the Sharp Eye, and the added bonus of prolonging a game if it's going to fatigue. This becomes a must block, and if you can somehow combat trick it to hit, put a nice Valiant Thrust on top of your deck, Helm the Sharp Eye, then you're talking about some good damage there. So that's why I put it above average. Maybe it's just a very good sideboard card. Definitely not a must-have. Charge of the Light Brigade. Oh, sorry, I missed one. I missed Blistering Assault. This is chaff until yellow decks become yellow cards matter. Deck becomes good. The Blistering Assault and the other one, I forgot what it's called. That I think is a +1 or +2. Are interesting cards in a yellow deck. Yellow deck matters, yellow card matters, whatever the name's going to be, because you go again and you get the pump. But you're losing. Is it worth having in there? And you don't get to charge. I don't know. So I'll put it in chat for now. Charge of the Light Brigade, below par. Blocks for 3, yeah, nice. +3, yeah, nice. But you need to have charged. And it tells the enemy what they're facing. That's why Courageous Steel Hand was so good. Is because it's an instant +3. Attack reaction +3. Yeah. So I wouldn't play it. Anything at average and below I probably wouldn't play. Average I might play. This would when you get the sideboard. Good sideboard cards. Decimator, Great Axe. I want this to be average, but I think it's below par. It does require a 2-hand block. A Sink Below, this it only blocks 2, right? Sink Below only block 2. Other cards go from 3 to 2. A 2 block will go to 1. So you know what? Is it worth trying? No, because that's all you can do, right? That's really all you can do each turn. It's like block club for Rhino or Anathos, except worse. I'll put it below par. hold the line. This is going into average sideboard strictly for Lexi for Bloodrush Bellows turns. Maybe Briar. Briar's going to CC soon if it keeps doing well. If it doesn't, it's got a lot of draw in Tome of Harvest. I don't know if it plays So, Organian Tomb. It's got quite a bit of draw. And it has the added function of being a blue to pitch. So average, I think in Bolton Hatchets, it's good. And the other decks, probably not. Iron Song versus Must Have. It's just, yeah, it just adds an on-hit with your weapon, which against aggressive decks is nice because they might think about blocking it now. Against defensive decks, nothing really changes because I'll probably block it out anyways. Where I find the most use out of it actually is helping fix my turn 0. My hand is really clunky, I don't have much to do, and I don't want to keep all the cards. I get to at least put one at the bottom of my deck. So that is worth more than I thought it would be alone. Plus you've got the 2-block temper and then the additional effect. Later Rest. This I think can be good depending on the meta. It's coming in for 6 if you're going against Levia or Vincent. It's getting rid of one of their banished cards, also powerful, and then you give it go again if you have Soul. So I think this can be above average if we get to that stage in the meta, but for now I think it's either above average or below par. There's no middle ground for this. It's just, yeah. So for now, I'll put it below par because I don't think Vincent or Levia are going to be heroes to worry about as in terms of dominating the meta. Like the way, again, we spoke about cards like Beam Bravado, these commons and rares just bringing up the hero by just that 1 or 2%. This, I think, is one of those cards. It has a problem with charging yellows, but if you do get a yellow charge in it, it sort of becomes a must block. And against a deck that can only block with attack actions, you gain the go again with the bonus buff. If they don't want to block it, you get attacked with Raiden afterwards. Beam Bravado I think is better because you get that guarantee of getting to go again. Like the way, yeah, a little bit worse. Lumina Lance. So this, yeah, so I originally had Lumina Lance above average. No, must have. Slowly moved down to above average. That's between above average and average. I don't mind charging it. I don't mind blocking with it. I don't mind cutting it. So that leads me to believe that it moves into the average category. Oh, hurts to say it. So I really like it. The idea of it, but it's just reminds me a little bit of Captain's Call, a better version of Captain's Call, because it offers so much, but each thing it offers is subpar. So the +2 is good, but maybe a +3 from Courageous Steel Hand is better. The draw card is very good, and the go again, you don't care about the go again because you got Soul to do that for you anyways. You're gonna reduce it, remove a Soul, so you might as well do the +2 and then do the go again after that. But I spoke about this in the game before and how resource heavy it is, and resource on your Soul, I mean, because excuse me, because yeah, you need to remove 1 for +2, 1 for draw card, 1 for go again. So you're losing 3 Soul. You're not going to have more than 5 Soul. It's just that just doesn't happen unless you're really just like block, attack, charge, block, attack, charge. So that's going to leave you with 2 Soul left, and you draw a card, you attack with your sword, 1 Soul left, attack with the last card. Yeah, maybe it's a good finisher, but yeah, that's it. Perhaps you don't need to use it that way. Maybe you just need to use it in a way where it's like, I'm just going to draw a card. I'm just going to give Illuminate +2. I'm just going to give Illuminate go again. So maybe there are ways to use it that I haven't thought of or tried to do. but average is where I'm putting it. Try it out. Let me know if you guys have better success or better usage of it, and if so, let me know. Prayer of Bologna, another failed majestic, unfortunately for Bolton. As I was saying, you play 25, maybe 30, not even 30 yellows, right? 20 to 25. So you're gonna whiff from this more than half the time. So therefore, you're paying 1 for a +2. Maybe you're thinking, okay, beckoning light. But if they don't block the beckoning light, then so you play beckoning light, you put something on top, it has to have the go again, then you can do it, right? So beckoning light does play another important role here. But yeah, if you're whiffing more than half the time, yeah, you're getting the +2. It does block 3. It does work in Yellow Deck Matters. So Yellow Deck Matters increases the use case of Luminal Lance and Prayer of Bologna, but I haven't got there yet. Found a deck that uses them well. Radiant Flow, for the time being, I think I put it in below par. I think the Darkness set is better than the Radiant set, because especially for Leviathan, because you want to fill up your Banner Stone and get the Blood Deck going. This is a pseudo Spell Void. I like the idea of having a defense reaction-esque equipment where you can block for 8 against a Command and Conquer, then they can decide to pummel you or not. If they do, you can Radiant Flow to prevent the remaining 2. You could use it to block out the final 2 for Aether Ice Vein if you have 3 AB as well. So there are use cases for it. Just none that I've found to be. I think they're just a bit too niche at the moment. Radiant Foretold. The build's not there yet to have a massive soul. Maybe it's better in a Prism deck. I'm not sure. But you want this when your soul is like constantly above 5 or 6 cards. And then it's good against Kadachi, it's good against Rune Chance. Yeah, go wide decks. Just like chipping at you. This is good, but you don't want to be playing with your soul. Resounding Courage, I put this in average. I do like it. The additional resource cost hurts, but setting up a Courage token for the turn after is really good. We spoke about it with the Bannerets and how good they are in helping you get the go-agains. This is exactly that. It blocks 3. You can get a yellow version of it. Yellow decks matter. Yellow cards matter. So it's somewhere between here, above average and average. If I cut it from my deck, I wouldn't be too sad, so that leads me to believe it is average. Here we go again, below par, the same as I said with the other card, like this. Oh, yeah, no, chaff, sorry. If yellow decks matter, become important, then this will become better, because you get the +2, you get to get go again with Bolton's ability. So with the 1 yellow, you get to attack with Searing Ray plus whatever else is in your hand. Illuminate, Later Rest, Blistering Assault. Yeah, things like that. Soulbound Resolve. Oh man. I'm gonna call it average. It's average or below par. I mean, it definitely disappointed. So in that regard, it's below par. But in terms of its actual power level, I thought it would be above average. Hoping, perhaps not there, above average, but it definitely sits in the average place. Even with my Hatchet build, I think I'd prefer Tunic over Soulbound Resolve. In the Sabres build, you want Courage of Bladehold, and in my other builds, I prefer Tunic. This really just doesn't have a place at the moment. Charging the card, preventing a damage, means you're losing a 3 block in a card, or a card. So it helps. How does it help? I mean, it helps mainly on your turn against shunts, Reckless Swings, traps from Riptide, any arcane damage from Prism, Runeblade block, D-reacts. So it does have those uses. But yeah, it's not enough, unfortunately. Subax is another gorgeous card that just failed to impress, like Bastion of Unity. Spirit of War. This is above average to average. I was really low on it, then really high on it. Now I'm like, yeah, I don't get the benefits out of it that much. Again, the decks I'm building are a bit more streamlined and a bit, less yellow heavy. So this doesn't fare that well. Same problem as Beam Bravado, Light the Way. But I still think it's better than potentially, like, is it better than Express Lightning? Possibly. Express Lightning, though, it does at the breakpoint. 0 for 4. Yeah, it's hard to say. Express Lightning, I'll put it average. So, it's an average card, but maybe for Bolton, it's the above average card. So, let's put it there for now. United We Stand. I think I haven't had much experience with this, but I'm going to put it above average. Why? Because it's a yellow, so it's going to fit in the yellow cards meta eventually when that becomes a thing. It's a popper, and it reduces, it blocks for 1 less, right? So you're losing 1 block, but you're gaining 1 power on your next turn with the Courage. And not only does it give you 1 power, it also gives you the opportunity to have the go again. So that is pretty good. You're never going to attack with it. Paying 3 to attack with it, no. And then when PvE or these large multiplayer formats become a thing, this is going to be even better. So I would actually pick up 3 of these now, just from like a point of view that PvE is going to be something at some point, and this card will be good. Banneret of Resilience will only be as good as Soulbound Resolve is, and even then it'll probably be a tier below Soulbound Resolve, because you're only ever going to charge on their turn with a Soulbound Resolve block, and then the block after this will work with Banneret of Resilience. So for now, it is staying there. And then finally, Via Valor. Man, oh man, oh man, I want this to be a must-have in every Bolton deck. I want it to be at least above average, but I don't have enough game time with it to say either of those things. I'm going to put it in average for now. Hopefully this will move up once I get more experience with playing with it. But at the moment, it's a bit like I don't want to take off. What I'm doing is I'm basically reducing my damage by 3 or 4 by playing this, because I have to use my have to attack, get go again, attack my sword, get go again, then play this. Whereas I could play an Illuminate. So do I want to play an Illuminate or do I want to play this? Having this on the battlefield though is, I think, pretty damn good, because you have a +3 charge on a stick. So if you attack with your 0 Dawnblade, is it Dawnblade? Raiden. If you attack with your Raiden with 0, are they going to block it? If they block it, you don't use it. If they don't block it, you can use it, and you get 6 damage in. You can attack with Bolt of Courage. Like, Bolt of Courage is the best one to attack with, because they sort of have to block. If they block 3, they're playing with fire. If they block 6, you just don't use it. And they use 2 cards on one of a 0 for 3, a 3 attack. So, and even if they block 6, and one of them's an attack action, and then you play this, you're coming in for 7. Yeah, it's pretty good. I want this to be above average. It's just I haven't got the chance to play it like that, or maybe it's too much pressure. I don't know. I'm gonna build a deck, another deck, and try it out, and build it around V for Valor, not around it, but this will play a big. This will be in the deck, so I won't go against. Yeah, and that's it. So there we go. there's the cards that I played with, and there's things like Mischievous Meeps, Censor, and other cards. Those are good cards. Warmonger's Diplomacy. Those cards aren't in here because they're not. I mean, they can be used in Bolton. Meeps might go in the Royal deck. Warmonger Diplomacy might go in. It is in my Hatchets build. Censor might go into any of the decks. Sideboard option. So, yeah. But this is what I got for these. If you're playing Bolton, definitely pick up the Bannerets of Courage, Gallantry, and Iron Song Versus. They're relatively cheap. Above average cards, these should be super cheap to get. Average cards, yeah, nothing's really expensive. And it's a lot of. I mean, the card pool now is pretty big to have different styles of decks, as you've seen with the 3 videos I made, and there's still more to be made. And yeah, so if I'm watching other Bolton players, I'll always learn something, and how they build their deck, their ratios, and that type of thing. So yeah, have fun. I hope this helped you. And if you're thinking, wow, I really had success with this card doing this, let me know. I want to try it out. I want to learn. Especially with cards like Beaming Blade, Decimator Axe, Prayer of Bellona, V for Valor, Lumina Lance. If someone could say Lumina Lance is a must-have, I will be all ears. And then anyone who breaks the yellow cards meta build, please share the list with me. Cool. That's it for today. No gameplay. Hopefully I'll get around to some of that next week. But until then, I will see you around.